During the race between the USA and the states of who is going to accumulate more wealth and power, or whose house is most extravagant, India has been positioning significantly more associates into the super elite class. And if you're wondering what it is like in this region for the wealthiest and how they live, then this is the right video for you. Stay with us and find out about what it's like to be a billionaire in India. Today in this video, we are going to reveal to you the benefits of the battles of those who have the greatest fortune in India, and on top of that, we're about to see one of the most outrageous purchases that took place there. Now, let's get into it. Within the period of 2010 to 2017, India was allegedly increasing a new billionaire into their charts typically every 33 days. If we're talking about 2000, this region had only 9 billionaires, and as time passed by, more precisely in 2017, the nation had even 101 billionaires, which is a huge increase in numbers. Due to the Forbes research on the top countries with most billionaires residing inside, India has now increased the number of 140 billionaires. So with that said, this placed the country at third in the world due to the world orders. With that, India beats Germany, which now has around 136 billionaires. At that time, when the list was actually published, India's wealthiest possessed $596 billion between them. That was 90% from the past year with $313 billion. Mukesh Ambani steadily maintains the top when it comes to money and wealth and represents the richest person in India. And if you were wondering how he actually made his fortune, it is with being the majority shareholder and also a chairman of the conglomerate Reliance Industries. On top of that, the company construed one of the largest telecommunication companies, Jio, and in the midst of that, Mukesh is holding an estimated net worth of a whopping $79.7 billion, and that made him the wealthiest person in all of Asia, especially in India. But if you were wondering, presently, the second wealthiest person in India is called Gautam Adani, and together with his family members, they represent one of the wealthiest people out there. He gained his fortune by being the founder and also chairman of Adani Group, and of course that's not all. This man also is in ownership with the coal mine Abbott Point Mundra Port, and with that has 74% stake with the magnificent Mumbai International Airport, so he and his family have an estimated net worth of an incredible $55.9 billion. Furthermore, the industrialist Shiv Nadar gained his wealth by co-founding the IT firm HCL Technologies. And believe it or not, same as Jeff's Amazon, this film was initially created in a garage. Nadar at this point is the third wealthiest man in India, and as of the time of present, he has a net worth of a whopping $25.6 billion. And that's not all. He has also channeled around $662 million into his very own Shiksha Foundation. Surprisingly enough, the wealthiest people in India tend to leave their country. Yeah, you heard that right. New World Wealth reported in 2015 that India was ranked as the second highest state where the millionaires are leaving their country. The first place was taken by China. Between 2000 and 2014, even 61,000 wealthiest people in India left the country to find a better place, and security concerns such as tax growth and because of the change of better and more sophisticated education possibilities for their kids. The places they choose to move to are the UK, USA, Australia, and even more. So in 2019, even 7,000 millionaires moved abroad. The firm of citizen residency advisory Henley and Partners stated in February 2021 that Indian citizens were one of the most enthusiastic and active in investigating these types of plans, such as citizenship by investment or also residence by investment. This is something fundamental when someone is expecting to get citizenship or also authorization to reside in a country in return for a financial investment of any kind. Some of the most desired countries where Indians prefer going to are Portugal, Austria, and Canada. On top of that, one of the most famous packages in Europe is the fabulous Portugal Golden Residence Permit program that says that while one person spends a minimum of 350,000 euros or also about $412,000, they are free to obtain a residency permit. If you were wondering about the luxurious items and buildings these wealthy Indians spend their money on, first and foremost, we have the breathtaking Antilla Tower. This building represents the most costly tower worldwide. And of course, with that said, this place represents home for many wealthy Indian people such as Mukesh Ambani. This incredible place was construed in 2010, and the best thing about it is that it overlooks the city. It possesses its very own cinema, 3 helipads, a huge ballroom, and believe it or not, 8 elevators. Due to some of the architects that were working on this project, it took them more than $2 billion to create this amazing tower. But there have also been allegations that to create this building took a whopping $5 billion. It was discovered that 1 month electricity bill cost the place an incredible $109,000. That is an enormous sum of money for one electricity bill, right? When people coming from wealthy families get married, they want to go all in when it comes to the ceremonies and the organization. In 2016, Gali Janardhana Reddy's daughter, Brahmi Reddy, was getting married, and due to that, they held a lavish wedding for 5 days successively. The event cost this family more than $74 million. That much money just for one wedding? Can you imagine how wealthy these people actually are when they can afford to give this much money on an event that lasts only a couple days? On top of that, the situation happened in the middle of a cash flow crisis, which left the citizens upset and enraged. Only the sari cost around $2.5 million, and not to forget her jewelry that cost a whopping $13 million. And that wasn't the only wedding that happened to be one of the most expensive ones ever seen. Here we have the wedding of Isha, who is the daughter of the wealthy Mukesh Ambani, and married the son of the famous billionaire Ajay Premal, whose name is Anand Premal. At this enormous wedding, eminent, famous guests were invited. One of them was the one and only Hillary Clinton, Deepika Padukone, and even more, even Beyonce, the biggest pop diva, performed at the wedding. This enormous, lavish wedding cost more than $100 million. We all know how private jets have always been the best lavish machines purchased by millionaires and billionaires. Due to that, in 2015, consulting firm Frost & Sullivan declared that an amazing 12% of the world's private plane market was created by Indian domestics. In the same year, approximately 142 were calculated to be owned by Indians. Due to some reports, altogether these jets cost around $310 million. The Canadian plane Consumers Bombardier calculated to deliver an incredible 1,215 planes to India within 2014 and 2033. The chairman and also director of the Raymond Group, Gautam Singhania, has a net worth of $1.4 billion, and he's one of those billionaires that has his own plane. Due to that, in 2016, he possessed a Bombardier Challenger 600. Then these incredible jets cost around $21 million. That may be a huge and unreachable number for us, but for these billionaires, buying planes that cost a fortune is something quite an average everyday thing. While the richer are getting even more money, that's not the case with the average citizens in this area. The same amount of wealth that is not dripping down on them, even on the contrary. The growth in billionaires' accounts is also increasing the huge inequality gap that makes the situation even worse. It is known that the top 10% of the country's wealthiest dominated 77% of the complete national riches. Also, 73% of the wealth produced went to the top 1%, which is quite devastating. The poorest population in this region has a wealth increase of only 1%. It is also known that for the minimum wage employee, especially in the rural areas of India, to gain the yearly salary of one greatly paid executive, it would probably take that person around 941 years, which is shocking if we are being honest. The least paid natives are usually making less than $5 per day, which is sad to know. The global situation at this moment caused irreparable damage to those who were unprotected and somehow financially unsupported, but for this rich class, it was a real chance. Due to that, from 2020 to 2021, a huge number of rich people had their net worth increased dramatically. For example, Mukesh Ambani allegedly went up approximately $15 billion. On the other hand, Gautam Adani's net worth increased by $13 billion. By the end of 2020, the first category apparently controlled more than 40.5% of the nation's riches, blossoming at 7% from 2000 due to Credit Suisse. We all know that the place where the art is most developed, produced, and constructed is the country and the city of art, France, in Paris. But India is not to be understated as well. A lavish, costly piece of art created by a famous Indian painter was sold through the auction house Saffron Art in March 2021. The unnamed work of V.S. Gandanti from 1961 went from approximately $5.5 million. And that was quite short-lived due to the 1931 art named In the Ladies' Enclosure by the well-known Amrita Shergill, sold for a whopping $5.14 million in July 2021. On a related note, we wanted to know which part was your favorite one from our video. What do you think about these millionaires? Is there something specific you liked the most? You can tell us in the comments section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.